Streaming live now on News8000.com. You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now, This Morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dua Estrar.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
It is October 20th, 2023. Happy Friday.
Friday's finally here.
Friday.
Friday, yeah, that's right.
Well, we've got a lot of busy plans for all of us considering this Friday.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we've got my son's first birthday.
Ooh, happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to Remy. What are you up to?
This weekend, just kind of relaxing and watching some college and NFL football. Typical guys' day, you know?
Yes.
So.
I'm going to take a trip down home to Chicago while the weather's still nice before we, start getting that snow and rain and cold.
Uh-oh. No, use the weather S word. No, don't say that.
Too early for that.
It's never too early in the Midwest. That's the thing.
Oof. Yeah, I don't want to think about that, but it's coming. We start seeing snow here as early as November. But let's talk about what's happening now. Though it's nice and clear, no fog or mist to worry about, unlike what happened yesterday. And what we see right now on satellite looks like it's going to continue really throughout the day. I'm expecting a lot of sunshine around here this afternoon. Current temperatures into the 30s and 40s, 36 degrees in Sparta. Much colder though. Black River Falls at 31, so right below that freezing mark there. We are looking at 37 currently in Eau Claire and 41 degrees currently in Winona. So as we take a look now at your planner, lots of clear skies, not just this morning, but really throughout the day today. Temperatures warming up into the 50s by 11, and then we're into the low 60s by 3 o'clock, and west-northwest winds at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Dog walking conditions look great here today for you and your furry friend. Clear skies this morning and lots of sun here. Mild conditions this afternoon and also into early this evening, so things look very dry there. I'll have a check on your schoolcast and another look at your full weather forecast coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Derek. Well, let's get to some news this morning. One man is dead and another was injured after a vehicle crashed into a tractor. Wednesday afternoon, a pickup truck rear-ended a tractor on Highway 12 in the town of Lincoln. The crash caused the tractor to enter the ditch and overturn. The operator of the tractor, a 54-year-old Toma man, was injured in the crash. He was taken from the scene in an ambulance with serious injuries. The driver of the pickup truck, a 78-year-old Warrens man, died on scene. This incident remains under investigation by the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. As the conflict between Israel and Hamas continues, community members in La Crosse gathered for a peace vigil at Our Savior's Lutheran Church. The goal was to spread a message of love for all affected by the violence. News 8 Now's Jeremy Wall has the details.
Community members are feeling the impacts of the conflict between Israel and Hamas, including Jeffrey Butler.
My nephew serves in the Israeli Defense Forces, the IDF. He's a tank driver. He's in the Army Reserve. We're nervous and a little bit scared, but there's conflict going on and we don't know what's going to happen to him.
Butler joined a packed chapel tonight at Our Savior's Lutheran Church to pray and support others through grief and mourning.
There are people right here in town who are grieving. We have Congregation Sons of Abraham, our Jewish brothers and sisters who are mourning. We also have Muslims in town, some of whom are Palestinian. We have Christians in town, some of whom are Palestinians, and all of them need a safe place to come and pray for peace.
Just like Butler, Bishop Felix Malpica is personally impacted by the conflict.
I have friends there. I know missionaries who are working there. I know people who are living in Jerusalem and in the West Bank. So for me, it's been a personal heartache. So it pains me, the horrors that they've had to witness over the last several weeks.
The Peace Vigil was hosted by the Interfaith Leaders Coalition, an organization gathering religious leaders around community justice. People gathered hoping the conflict will end soon. Rabbi Brian Searle is part of the Interfaith Leaders Coalition. His son and grandchildren live in Israel.
They live far from the fray. They're near Jerusalem, but as you know, there are rockets all over the country right now.
Depending on how long the conflict between Israel and Hamas lasts, the Interfaith Leaders Coalition might have more vigils. In La Crosse, Jeremy Wall, News 8 Now.
In Israel, President Biden announced the U.S. would give $100 million to help civilians in Gaza and the West Bank. Urging the legislature to address workforce challenges. That was Governor Tony Evers' message during a visit to the Sprout Child Care Center in La Crosse. This week, Evers announced that he will use $170 million to continue the Child Care Counts program. The program was originally set to end in January 2024, but will now run until June 2025. For months, Evers had been trying to persuade Republicans to use the state's surplus to keep child care counts running. Evers called a special session last month to try to get the legislature to act, but nothing came of it. Recently, Republicans released their own package of child care bills. Most of the bills focused on changing regulation standards, but one would create interest-free loans for licensed child care providers. Evers did not mince words when asked what's wrong with the Republican plan.
It sucks. That's what's wrong with it. That would be a little bit of money for a handful of people at the end of the year. That's not going to keep a place like this open.
Evers knows his own plan is a short-term fix. He's using federal money to fund the program's 18-month extension. Once that federal money runs out, there's no plan to have the state keep funding the program. Giving back to the community through a soup dinner. That was the goal of La Crosse's soup event last night. La Crosse Soup is a collaborative effort to crowdsource funds for community projects. For just $5, attendees get a bowl of soup, some bread, and a vote. During the dinner, 4 different projects were pitched. Attendees then use their vote to choose which project receives all the funds collected throughout the night. 4 great projects were pitched, but the ultimate winner was Driftless Recovery Services. A representative of that group describes how they were feeling after they won.
We're a little surprised actually to get chosen, and here we are actually extremely grateful to be able to have won that money.
Driftless Recovery Services provides support to men who are recovering from substance abuse. Their Sober Living House offers programs that aid in the recovery process and helps them adjust to sober living. They plan on using the winnings to finance programming within the facility. They'll also use it to help cover rent for individuals in the program who may otherwise struggle to afford it. Well, pack up your paper because it's time for Harder's Free Shred event. The event started back in 2016 and is held twice a year, once in the spring and then again in the fall. Sales and Customer Service Manager Jeff Holmquist says people from all over the Coulee region come to shred their paper and that there's an important reason behind it.
One piece of information in the wrong hands can bankrupt someone. People want to be sure their confidential documents are disposed of properly, and we can do that.
This is Harder's 14th Shred event and is taking place today, Friday, October 20th through Saturday, October 21st. It only takes a few minutes to get through the process and your first 100 pounds are free. Anything above 100 pounds will include a charge. 2 historical groups have been working together for the past year. This week, they held a conference to share what they've learned from each other. It was hosted by the Wisconsin Historical Society and the Wisconsin Council for Local History. Anyone with a passion for history could attend the event. One of the group's CEOs says this year's theme is the intersection of community with history, culture, and identity.
We're telling our stories not in just our community, but also in a way that our stories, which have local and national impact, can be amplified into the region, and we can share what we all do so well in the Midwest, and that's frame who we are and talk about what we can do for people.
Multiple speakers presented at the conference. If you missed it yesterday, the event will continue today at the La Crosse Center. You can buy a ticket to the conference on the Wisconsin Historical Society's website. We have a link on our website, news8000.com. Well, still ahead on your morning news, home sales are at their lowest level since 2010. We'll take a look at why that is in just a few minutes. And a string of recent crashes is prompting federal regulators to look into the safety features on self-driving vehicles. We'll take a closer look at the new concerns that are to be raised on the new technology. That and more is coming up this morning, but for now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. What happens when a kangaroo tries to drown a black belt's dog? A showdown for the ages. When martial arts instructor Mick Maloney caught a kangaroo holding his dog underwater, he jumped into action. Mick went toe-to-toe with the buff marsupial, which some people on social media said looked like a deer that had just gotten out of prison. The dog owner slapped the kangaroo and it released his dog, who was no worse for wear. Mick isn't the first guy to tussle with a kangaroo. There are estimated to be nearly 50 million of the creatures in Australia. So while it might sound like the plot of the next John Wick movie to us, It's just another day in the land down under. Don't go anywhere. Your consumer news at News 8 Now this morning is after the break.
Well, skies are looking nice and clear this morning with current temperature readings into the 30s and 40s, 41 degrees in La Crosse and 37 degrees currently in Eau Claire. A check on your zone forecast for today, looking at high temperatures reaching the mild side here into the 60s, 63 in Minduro, 62 today in West Salem, and a high of 65 today in Berry Mills. Now, meanwhile, moving south into Soldiers Grove, you'll be at 64 today, 65 this afternoon in New Albin, and a high of 65 as well up north in La Crescent, and also to the west in Houston, Caledonia at 64 today, 64 as well in Arcadia, and 62 in Melrose, looking at highs reaching 61 in Osseo, and in the Chippewa Valley, 61 degrees, mixed clouds and sun, slight chance of a shower around Eau Claire. Let's get a check now on your bus stop forecast for today. 46 degrees with clear skies to start us off on the way to school. On the way back home here around dismissal time, looking at sunshine with temperatures warming up to about 63. I'll have a check on the forecast here coming up again shortly, and we'll talk about some possible rain chances that we could deal with as we head into next week.
In your consumer news this morning, mortgage rates are at their highest level in 23 years. Now, a new report shows home sales are also at their highest level in 13. That's according to the National Association of Realtors. The group says houses are currently selling at an annual rate of $3.96 million. Experts say the drop in sales is due to high mortgage rates, high house prices, and low inventory. And here in La Crosse, the Wisconsin Realtors Association's latest housing report shows the local market is also feeling the effects. Sales in La Crosse County are down 13.9%, while prices are up 14% compared to last year as high mortgage rates slow demand. Meanwhile, gas prices are dropping in the U.S. According to AAA, the average price at the pump has dropped 8 cents per gallon since last week. It's dropped 32 cents per gallon since last month. That's despite increased demand, decreased supply, and the war in Israel worrying experts about the cost of importing oil. AAA says gas prices may go up if the conflict spreads to other parts of the Middle East. After announcing drastic changes to its SkyMiles loyalty program, Delta Airlines is walking back some of those plans. The reversals come after the original announcement was poorly received by customers. Delta had made it more difficult to earn rewards with frequent flyer miles, as well as access the airline's exclusive Sky Club. Now the airline is actually making it easier to earn rewards and easing those Sky Club restrictions. The updated changes will take effect in 2025. Self-driving cars are becoming more common on America's roads, but recent crashes involving robotaxis and pedestrians are prompting federal scrutiny of safety measures. Karen Kafa takes a closer look at how the autonomous vehicle market may soon be driving through our neighborhood.
The future is here, but is it a good thing? Several recent crashes involving driverless cars are reigniting safety concerns.
These are big vehicles that can inflict damage if there are crashes or if they hit pedestrians and bicyclists and so on.
Earlier this month, a woman in San Francisco was struck by a hit-and-run driver and then hit a second time by a robo-taxi operated by Cruise, a subsidiary of General Motors. In a statement, a Cruise spokesperson said the initial impact was severe and launched the pedestrian directly in front of the AV. The AV then braked aggressively to minimize the impact. It's one of 2 such incidents reported to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, which said it also identified 2 further incidents. Engineering professor Ram Pandiala says it makes sense. Federal investigators want to know if the company has enough pedestrian safeguards in place.
This is NHTSA just exercising due diligence, as with all vehicles and all technologies.
A Cruise spokesperson said it will cooperate with the probe. Pandiala lives in Arizona, where robotaxis operate.
A lot of folks who take those rides, they are surprised as to how amazing the experience is. I think we'll just have to see how the data really demonstrates the potential benefits from a safety standpoint.
According to auto insurance comparison website autoinsurance.org, currently self-driving vehicles are legal to operate in all 50 U.S. states. That's it for your morning consumer news. Let's check in with Derek now for a look at today's forecast. Hi, Derek.
Hey, Alexandria, thanks for that. We are looking at clear skies this morning. Temperatures currently in La Crosse sitting at 41 degrees. Winds are looking nice and calm. We are looking at visibility down to about 6 miles, so you may run into some patchy fog or some mist out there. Same here for you in Eau Claire, but I think for the most part, the roads are looking good. 37 degrees, east-southeast winds light at 3 miles an hour. We got a clear sky right now for the most part on the satellite and radar picture, so no worries there. Current temperatures are mainly into the 30s and 40s, but very cold though in areas like Black River Falls. You're below freezing at 30. Sparta's at 36. Viroqua is at 41 and Boscobel at 43. Prairie du Chien 42. Check out Winona also on the cool side this morning. You're currently sitting at 39 degrees. So as you take a look at your planner, we start off on the clear side, 46 degrees at 7 o'clock, 55 and sunny at noon today, and then by 4 we warm up to 65 degrees with sunshine, turning mostly clear. Temperatures dropping a bit to 53 degrees by 8 o'clock this evening. And the forecast highs today very mild into those low to mid 60s, 61 today in Eau Claire and 65 today if you're in La Crosse. So check on Sky Tracker now. Again, things starting off clear. We're going to be looking at this trend here continuing throughout the morning and also into this afternoon. We're on the northern extent of this surface area of high pressure. So that's why things are going to be looking mainly dry and sunny here for us today. Now, I am going to be watching another weak area of low pressure moving in from the north, and that could create some increasing clouds and also a slight chance of a shower or two for portions of our eastern zones as we head into tonight. And that activity should begin to clear by around 5 o'clock. Now you can see a change in wind directions there. The wind here coming from the north, that is from a cold front that's forecast to move in by early tomorrow morning. This could give us some increasing moisture to work with as it's associated with a low pressure system nearby. So that could help increase the moisture, leading to abundance of clouds tomorrow afternoon and maybe even a couple of some light showers as a possibility here as well. And then it looks like this trend may kind of be off and on, if you will, as we head into tomorrow afternoon and also into tomorrow night. But for the majority of our rain chances tomorrow, things are looking very light though here, however. Some good news to share with you from the latest drought monitor index that came in this week, and we do have some positive changes down to the south across our southern communities. If you remember, they were highlighted in that extreme drought status. Well, you folks are now have been downgraded to severe drought. So still some ways to go, but the last week's soaking definitely has improved some of this drought status there, while the rest of us still remain under this moderate to abnormally dry condition. Here's a check on your 8-day forecast, and you can see that we will be looking at mixed clouds and sun through this weekend. However, more rain chances. Some good news there for the drought as we head into next week, especially Monday through Wednesday, even though they're very light chances, but moisture will be around with our next system moving in. Highs mainly into the 50s and 60s, and lows mainly into the 40s to low 50s. Stay with us. We're back with much more news and weather still to come on News 8 Now this morning. For now, we're sending it a break with a look what happened on this day in history for October 20th. We'll be right back.
To the Blitz. It was a jam-packed night on the volleyball court. We're going to start the show in Division 1 with the most dominant team we've seen in our area this season. The Holmen volleyball team didn't lose a set in conference play this year. Vikings were looking to start their postseason journey with a win at home. Let's head out to Viking country. Second seeded Holmen hosting Madison East. The home team doing what it's done all season. Izzy Jar dropping the hammer. Vikings up big, and they kept it going. Lydia Olson this time skying high for the kill. Holmen goes up 10. Raina McCardle, she was getting everyone involved. This time Charlie Casey finds the floor. 11-point lead for the home team, and it's good to see Melissa Hoff back in the lineup. The senior gets this one to fall. All Vikings last night, they get the sweep over Madison East. Next up for Holmen, a date with Monona Grove at home on Saturday. Let's stay in D1, head on Alaska. Hilltoppers at home hosting Madison West. Anna took the first set, pick it up in the second. Haley Kopelke slams this one home. Hilltoppers up 2-0, and they continue to roll in the third. Maddie Wilson, brick wall at the net. She's all fired up, and the home team keeping its foot on the gas all night. Claire Pedretti providing the power with this rocket. Hilltoppers in complete control. It's Kopelke again, pounding the ground. Alaska opens up the playoffs with a sweep over Madison West. Hilltoppers will host Madison Memorial on Saturday. Let's go to D2. Head over to West Salem. Second-ranked Panthers hosting Wautoma. Started off in the first play of the game. The junior McKenna Ely gets her night started with an ace. Panthers would start off hot. Wouldn't stop there, though. Later in the set, it's Reese Sackett rising up, flicking it down to get the kill, increases the Panther lead to 3. But Ely back at it again, this time slamming it down past the Hornet D. She would have 11 kills on the night. Then the senior Sackett again unloading, connecting on this one. She had 18 kills on the stat sheet. Panthers would go on to win it in 3 sets. Let's go to D3. Aquinas hosting Viroqua. Blackhawks come out red hot. Bryn Swenson finds the opposite corner. Aquinas with an early timeout. Blue Gold start rolling though. Addie Forrest kills too hot to handle. Then it's Amy Hine following up hers with a kill of her own. That finds the gap in the Blackhawks D. How about a back roll kill from 4? Great swing to keep Aquinas on the attack. Then it's Sammy Davis joining the party. Blue Golds get the sweep. They'll host Abbotsford on Saturday. Let's jump to Division 4. Second-ranked Royal opening up their postseason run hosting Brookwood. Set 1, Royals Mara Gruen with the bump. The set comes right back for the senior to get the spike and the point. Panthers, though, down 1. Visiting Falcons looking to fly in the front row. Regan Muhlenkamp hits it into a wall. Ball goes out of play. Point Brookwood, they lead it by 3. Later in the set, Royal finding their groove. A pass along the front row sets up Bria Gruen. She collects the point. Panthers go on to win it 3 sets to 1. They'll host Seneca on Saturday. 7th-ranked Waniwak Center opening up their playoff run hosting Ithaca. Second set, Waniwak Center's Kelsey Justman serves up a point. No help needed. Wolves lead this one by 5. Later on, Ithaca looking to make something happen, but the Wolves' Bryn Ertl comes up big with the block. Waniwak Center holding on to the lead. Then later, Olivia Olsen saw a teammate serve up a point earlier, thought, why not? Wolves are moving on. They get past Ithaca in 3 sets. Wolves get the winner of this one, Hillsborough and Cashton. Third set, Cashton's Vivi Dempsey. Nice save here, sets up Lauren Hunsiker for the tip and the point. Eagles with the early lead. Later, Hillsborough looking to rally. Michelin Hansen set like loft that lands on the other side of the net for the point. Then more from the Tigers. Hansen again, this time she spikes off a defender's hand. Hillsborough collects another point. This one was a 5-set thriller. Hillsborough wins it 3-2. Playoff action on the pitch at Field for Kids last night. Aquinas playing host to Nakusa. Early first half action. It's Samuel Dickinson picking corners. Blue Gold starting off strong. They take a 1-goal lead. Dickinson, he was on fire in this one. Clutch playoff performance from him. Nice pass through traffic here. Dickinson again, his 2nd goal of the night puts Aquinas up 2. Now the Blue Golds are granted a free kick, and this one's going to get buried into the back of the net. Blue Golds roll in this one. They take it 6-0 the final. Aquinas will host Arcadia on Saturday. Let's go to Logan. Rangers hosting Cambridge Deerfield last night, jumping right into the second half. Visitors set up for a free kick. Logan keeper Gabe Sanders leaps in the air, just gets a hand on the ball to deflect it out of bounds. Then with just 2 minutes left, Lucas Yang gets a leading pass. Defenders on it, but Yang stretches out, gets his foot on it, scores what will be the game winner. Rangers are moving on with a 1-0 victory. That's going to do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
Today, President Biden is expected to host European Union leaders at the White House, with the conflicts in the Middle East and Ukraine likely to be at the top of the agenda. In a primetime address last night, the president said Hamas and Russian President Vladimir Putin both want to annihilate neighboring democracies. He called for billions of dollars in aid for Israel and Ukraine and also denounced hate in all forms. CBS News correspondent Ian Lee has more from Tel Aviv.
Point in history.
Sitting in the Oval Office, President Biden made the case for his $100 billion funding request to Congress, which would include support for Israel and Ukraine.
It's a smart investment that's going to pay dividends for American security for generations.
The president said he doesn't want to see U.S. troops fighting in either conflict zone. Hours before his address, a U.S. Navy ship intercepted missiles and drones launched by Houthi rebels in Yemen that were potentially headed to Israel.
It is our aim to avoid any regional expansion of Israel's conflict with Hamas.
President Biden pledged to give $100 million in humanitarian aid to Palestinian civilians. During his trip here this week, he struck a deal to move trucks filled with aid from Egypt to Gaza. Hundreds of thousands of displaced Palestinians are now in desperate need of water, food, and fuel. While visiting his troops, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared his nation will win with full force. The conflict there has ignited tensions globally and in the U.S.
His name was Wadiha.
Last night, President Biden evoked the name of the Palestinian-American boy who was stabbed to death near Chicago and is pleased to reject hate.
This morning, CBS News confirms a rocket attack on a U.S. and coalition forces military base in Baghdad, though nobody was killed. U.S. officials are also reporting an updated death toll of 100 to 300 people from the Gaza hospital explosion earlier this week. Both sides have blamed each other, though the U.S. has come out in support of Israel's explanation that the blast was caused by a misfired rocket launched by Palestinian militants. The U.S. Army private who fled into North Korea back in July has been charged. According to a charging document, 23-year-old Travis King will be charged with desertion, soliciting, possessing sexual images of a child, as well as 5 other alleged counts. Last month, King was released from North Korean custody and was flown to Brooke Army Medical Center at Fort Sam Houston outside of San Antonio, Texas. King is currently being held at a civilian jail just outside of Fort Bliss for pretrial detention. In a statement, King's mother said she loves her son unconditionally and is, quote, extremely concerned about his mental health. The Federal Communications Commission has voted to begin a process that may reinstate some net neutrality rules. The new proposal would stop internet providers from blocking or slowing down users' access to certain websites. An FCC chairperson also said the new proposal will help set the stage for future regulations on consumer privacy and national security. A final vote is not expected to happen till at least 2024, and that'll happen following a public comment period. The man who police said brought guns to the Wisconsin Capitol and demanded to see Governor Tony Evers was banned from the Capitol Square area Thursday. 43-year-old Joshua Plesnick is charged with carrying a firearm in a public building. During a court appearance yesterday, his signature bond was set at $500 per case. As a condition of the bond, he cannot possess any dangerous weapons and is banned from the Capitol Square area. Additionally, Plesnick is barred from being within 1,000 feet of the governor or any members of his family. Wisconsin's fight against human trafficking is getting a boost. The state's anti-human trafficking task force will receive $2 million in federal grant money from the U.S. Department of Justice. The funds will help expand the task force's efforts to support survivors and prosecute traffickers. The coalition unites law enforcement agencies and victim service providers across the state. Together, they work to identify and assist trafficking victims while bringing perpetrators to justice.
All right, this morning we're starting off with clear skies right now on the satellite and radar picture there. Temperatures are a little on the cold side into the 30s and 40s. 40 now in Eau Claire. If you're in La Crosse, you're currently sitting at 41 degrees. So let's get checked now on your forecast today. Sunny skies overall, 65 being our high temperature today. And not only that, but we have a west-northwest breeze, very light at 5 to 10 miles an hour. For tonight, 49 degrees, partly cloudy. You may run to a slight chance of a shower. I think better chances will be mainly to the east. South winds tonight at around 5 to 10. Your mowing forecast today looks great. Sunshine throughout the day. Temperatures into the 40s, though, to start. If you want warmer temperatures, I would recommend mowing between noon and especially around 5 o'clock where it feels a little bit more comfortable. Temperatures by that point into the low 60s with clear and sunny skies. I'll have another check on that full weather forecast coming up in just a little bit. We'll talk about some upcoming rain chances that we may encounter next week. And coming up in our Buzz Report, U2's first live shows in 4 years have been so popular, they're extending their Vegas residency. We'll take a look at their Sphere performances and tell you which big names have been in the crowd. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We're looking at some clear skies here to start us off this morning. A little on the cool side, though, in some spots. We'll get to those temperatures here in a second. But here in La Crosse, we're currently at 41 degrees with clear skies, and winds are looking calm. Meanwhile, if you're in Eau Claire, 40 degrees is your temperature. North winds light at 5 miles an hour. Clear skies really all across the Coulee region, but there are some little cloud cover here back towards the north over the Chippewa Valley. But other than that, the rest of us are looking okay. Again, temperatures 30s and 40s, looking cool out there. clear. In Black River Falls, you're at the freezing mark at 32. Sparta's currently at 36. Viroqua's at 39. Boscobel currently at 41. And Winona currently at 39. So let's get checked now on your planner. Clear skies, 46 degrees to start. And then we're turning sunny, 55 at noon today. Temperatures warming their way up to 65 degrees with sunshine at 4 o'clock, mostly clear, and 54 the temperature by 8 o'clock this evening, with our forecast high numbers today into the low to mid 60s, 61 in Eau Claire and 65 today if you're in La Crosse. So Sky Tracker showing that things are looking nice and clear here this morning, looking at mainly sunny skies here for us to work with this the rest of the morning as well. We're on the northern ridge of this high pressure system here. That's going to help create a nice sunny environment for us to work with today. However, I am watching this low pressure, though, that could spawn some cloud cover, maybe a little bit of some light showers for portions of our eastern communities as we head into tonight, and then clearing here as we head into early tomorrow morning. Note the wind direction shifting out of the north, though, as we head into tomorrow morning on a Saturday. That is from a cold front that's forecast to move in. That may cool down our temperatures here a little bit for tomorrow, also give us some cloudy skies, maybe a slight chance of seeing some scattered showers as we head into tomorrow afternoon around 1 o'clock, and that trend continues into tomorrow evening and into tomorrow night with a slight chance of a shower or two. All right, some good news for the Drought Monitor Index. We do have some improvements to share with you here for this morning. You can see down to the south where we have the severe drought that has been downgraded from what was an extreme drought condition there, and that is from the soaking rains that we had here from last week to put a dent in some of the drought conditions. The rest of us still looking moderately dry, while some locations are looking abnormally dry. So we do have a little bit of a ways to go yet. Are not out of the drought completely, but there have been some improvements thanks to the rain showers that we had last week. And as we take a look at your 8-day forecast, we have some more rain chances to work with heading into Monday through Wednesday of next week. Highs mainly into the 50s and 60s, and we got lows mainly into the 40s to low 50s.
In our Morning Buzz report, we'll look at what's buzzing in the world of music, starting with singer Gwen Stefani receiving a star on the Hollywood Shelton and 3 sons there to support her. The Just a Girl singer has released numerous hits since the mid-90s and even won 3 Grammy Awards along the way. Stefani also serves as a coach on the hit musical show The Voice. You knew she was going to come up eventually. The most talked about woman in the world, Taylor Swift, just dropped 2 new singles for her fans. They're both new versions of her 2019 song Cruel Summer. One is a live version and the other is a remix. Swift announced the release on her Instagram. The radio single already has over 1 billion streams on Spotify. Next Friday, Swift will release a re-recording of her popular 2014 album, 1989.
Who could have predicted this? My mom would have been thrilled. I wish she could see it.
Long Island is honoring its piano man. Oyster Bay, New York held a street naming ceremony for singer Billy Joel, who hails from the town. During the ceremony yesterday, it was also declared Billy Joel Day in Oyster Bay. The Uptown Girl musician will be playing a special concert in May of 2024 to celebrate his 75th birthday. U2 fans will have additional chances to see the band at the Las Vegas Sphere. That's because the band is extending its Sin City residency. They're adding 11 extra shows to the schedule, running into mid-February of next year. U2's residency at the Sphere features the band playing within the 366-foot Orb, which has a 16,000 LED screen and nearly 170,000 speakers. Attendees so far have included Snoop Dogg, Paul McCartney, and Elizabeth Banks.
Seems like it's going to be an exciting concert.
Yeah, that Sphere is so cool. I love seeing all the different things they do with it, the different things they put on it. Maybe Taylor Swift will get on there one day.
I was going to say, that looks like a Taylor Swift type of vibe, you know?
I'm sure, yeah. I'm sure it won't be long before she's there.
Yeah. All right, well, we got a few birthdays to celebrate today, and we're going to go ahead and start off with Leland. And Leland is turning 8 weeks old. Now, she loves going on car rides and being held by his grandparents. Happy birthday.
And Charlotte is turning 8 years old today. She loves playing volleyball, riding her bike, and playing with her little sister.
Brinley is turning 8 years old today. She loves playing gymnastics, playing outside, and her chickens.
Well, if you know a special someone that's turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we'd love to feature them.
Yeah, that's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on the website.
Stay with us. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your morning news now is up next.
One man is dead and another injured after a vehicle crashed into a tractor. Wednesday afternoon, a pickup truck rear-ended a tractor on Highway 12 in the town of Lincoln. The crash caused the tractor to enter the ditch and overturn. The operator of the tractor, a 54-year-old Toma man, was injured in the crash. He was taken from the scene in an ambulance with serious injuries. The driver of the pickup truck, a 78-year-old Warrens man, died on scene. The incident remains under investigation by the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Urging the legislature to address workforce challenges. That was Governor Tony Evers' message during a visit to the Sprout Child Care Center in La Crosse this week. Evers announced that he will use $170 million to continue the Child Care Counts program. The program was originally set to end in January of 2024, but will now run until June 2025. For months, Evers has been trying to persuade Republicans to use the state surplus to keep child care counts running. Evers called a special session last month to try to get the legislature to act, but nothing came out of it. Recently, Republicans released their own package of child care bills. Most of the bills focused on changing regulation standards, but one would create interest-free loans for licensed child care providers. Evers did not mince words when asked what's wrong with the Republican plan.
It sucks. That's what's wrong with it. That would be a little bit of money for a handful of people at the end of the year. That's not going to keep a place like this open.
Evers knows his own plan is a short-term fix. He's using federal money to fund the program's 18-month extension. Once that federal money runs out, there's no plan to have the state keep funding the program. A Wisconsin task force was just awarded a federal grant to fight human trafficking. Wisconsin's Anti-Human Trafficking Task Force announced they received a $2 million grant from the U.S. Department of Justice. The task force brings together law enforcement agencies and victim service providers to support human trafficking survivors. They also work together to bring traffickers to justice. The task force is set to expand its membership next year. Pack up your paper because it's time for Harder's Free Shred event. The event started back in 2016 and is held twice a year, once in the spring and then again in the fall. Sales and Customer Service Manager Jeff Holmquist says people from all over the Cooley region come to shred their paper, and there's an important reason behind it.
One piece of information in the wrong hands can bankrupt someone. People want to be sure their confidential documents are disposed of properly, and we can do that.
This is Harder's 14th shred event and is taking place today through tomorrow. It'll only take a few minutes to get through the process, and your first 100 pounds are free. Anything above 100 pounds will include a charge. Two historical groups have been working together for the past year. This week, they held a conference to share what they've learned from each other. It was hosted by the Wisconsin Historical Society and the Wisconsin Council for Local History. Anyone with a passion for history could attend the event. One of the group's CEOs says this year's theme is the intersection of community with history, culture, and identity.
We're telling our stories not in just our community, but also in a way that our stories, which have local and national impact, can be amplified into the region, and we can share what we all do so well in the Midwest, and that's frame who we are and talk about what we can do for people.
Multiple speakers presented at the conference. If you missed it yesterday, the event will continue today at the La Crosse Center. You can buy a ticket to the conference on the Wisconsin Historical Society's website. We have a link to that on our website, news8000.com.
As you head out the door this morning, we're keeping an eye on the temperatures into the low to mid 40s. Clear skies, lots of sun here as we head into today this afternoon. High temperatures pick up into the low 60s and a light northwest wind. Check on your 8-day forecast tomorrow. A little bit cloudier though, temperatures at 61 degrees. Looking at partly cloudy skies for Sunday. Watching for slight rain chances though as we head into next week, Monday through Wednesday, with highs into the 50s and 60s and lows 40s and 50s.
All right, and Dua is back with us now. You've got a little bit of news to share with us on the personal side.
Yes, I do. Today's my last day on the morning show. I've been filling in for the past couple of months while we found a permanent morning anchor.
Yeah.
So we're excited to have Alexandra. But I won't be going too far. I'll just be returning back to the evenings at 5 and 6 as a reporter, which is kind of where my passion really lies. I like being out in the community and telling stories, and I'm excited to, you know, hear from viewers some of the topics that are important to them. So, you know, if you do have a tip, send it over.
Well, it's definitely exciting to have you out in the community again, doing the things that you love, reporting. But yeah, definitely gonna miss you on the morning show too.
Ah, shucks, Derek.
And the viewers will miss you. From the emails we've been receiving, it looks like the viewers will definitely miss you also. But you will still be here. We'll still be running your stories.
Yeah.
So.
Yes. You'll still hear my voice in the morning show.
Good to know.
From stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm lucky to have such a welcoming community, and I hope that you guys will welcome Alexandra just as much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Exciting to be here. Exciting changes happening.
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
Yes. Excited to go back to Dayside.
Yes, you will get a little bit of a better schedule.
Yes.
No more dark and early.
No, I have to say I commend you two for waking up so early. I am ready to not do that anymore.
Yeah, set the alarm back by a few hours, right?
Yes, yes.
Exactly.
And I'm a notorious snoozer, so now the snoozes are going to be really great.
Same here. Speaking of that, I snoozed it like 5 times this morning. It's so rough. It's one of those Fridays.
I can't do the snooze
No.
because then I just feel like I'm not going to wake up.
Oh.
I got to just get up. Got to get it over with.
See, I wish I was that person.
Yeah. Motivation right there from Alexandria.
There we go. We'll see how long it lasts.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
Well, thank you so much for watching News 8 Now this morning. Don't forget to keep up with news of the day on News 8 Now at noon. Have a wonderful Friday.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you back here at noon, 5, 6, and 10 tonight.